Welcome back, everybody, to Fossils and Archaeology. Today we are standing in front of the Dilophosaurus enclosure that we built in the second episode. I have done a bit of stuff off camera. I have defeated the Ender Dragon. I have done a bit of End City raiding. And I have also, we take a look over here, done a little expansion work to the Dillo enclosure. I felt like the enclosure at the beginning was not enough room for two, so I decided to expand out a little more this way. And it seems like our Dilophosaurus is really enjoying the new space. She is making it her own. I have also received a suggestion for a name for her from you guys. So now, she is not just the Dilophosaurus, she is now Miss Bianca the Dilophosaurus, who lives in Dilophosaurus Delta. I also managed to snag... Do I have a light source in here? Do I have a light source on me? No. Let's go get that from the... Oh. So used to old mods that just let you right-click and fly. Ouch. I need a torch, combustible storage, a torch, and then let's fly back. And boom, boom. I need my Dinopedia, which is in the starter base. Ow. Only problem with custom trees is they hurt to fly into. Ow. Not as fast as they could, but still fun to fly into. Alright, let's fly back. I'm very wasteful of rockets because I just like to get places quickly. Alright, I didn't need to rush back, but I've also done more work to connect the barn that we built last episode to the main area. I am also doing some terraforming over here. You see, I started to work on some of the terrain over here, but the bulk of the work is going to be me filling in some of this river to turn it from a river into more of a little lake here. I think I want to come across here, cut for that dirt, and then over here, I think maybe come and fill in over here. Fill in that little cave thing over there. Just turn this into a lake. I think I like a lake better than I would like this big river. It'll give me more room to maybe put some a smaller enclosure to, yeah, maybe a smaller enclosure. I don't know, maybe here, another path that goes this way towards that direction. I can do paths over in that direction. Yeah, I think that'll look all right. Kind of stalling here to wait for this egg to hatch. See if it's a mate or just a friend for my Dillo over there. I love for it to be a male so I can see the male colors. I know their crests are going to be more vibrant because more vibrant males. That's usually a trend in birds and just animals in general. The males tend to be more vibrant to attract the mates. Alright. Couple seconds more. Come on. Come on. Let's go. And any second now. Alright. Male! Perfect! Awesome! Now this guy needs a name. You guys gave me a great name for her. Now, our newest addition also needs a name. And we once again have a cute little Dilophosaurus who probably won't be a cute little Dilophosaurus by the end of the episode. I don't need to go this way. I can just parkour out of here. Yeah, there we go. Jump out of here. I've also done a little bit of work here, kind of added some coarser to make the entrance a little more like it's being used. Still haven't filled in the inside. That's kind of why I avoided it, but I still have to figure out what I'm doing there. But today's episode, I have a task today. I know that the reason that this series is a thing is because you guys want to see the prehistoric animals. I want to see the prehistoric animals. And so, I have decided what our next enclosure is going to be. It's in this ugly netherrack eyesore. It is, if we take away all this ugly netherrack, don't hit the bone fossil, because those are annoying to put back. It's the Postosuchus! It's the newest creature added to the mod, and I want to make an enclosure for it. I want to try making an enclosure for it. Kind of go with the early half of the dinosaurs here with the Postosuchus. Kind of maybe make it more tropical than this. I don't know, we'll see. I've got some blocks here, and we can go through and maybe lay out where I want it to be. I think I want to go from like here. And these blocks are just temporary. They don't have to be permanent. They probably will be changed around when I finish up the enclosure. But I can go out that. Do this. Kind of go along the path here. And kind of go like this, because I want to take this path, branch it off this way. And bring this way. Because I want to have like maybe 2 or 3 of these guys in here. I want it to be big enough right off the bat. Kind of went small with the Dilophosaurus because it's the first one, but then I expanded it later. Right. And then bring it back this way. This way. Then bring it back to the hill so I can do a similar thing with the Dilophosaurus. Yeah, like that. Okay. Is this enough space for 2? I think so. I think that'll be enough space. Maybe if I push the hill back a little bit. I can always push this a little that way too. But I think this is enough space for 2 of them. Maybe I'm kind of getting a little close. Let's compare the size to the Dilophosaurs. It's gonna be bigger. It's about the same size as the Dilophosaurs, and they're like a little smaller than the Dilophosaurs, so I think this is good. I think now that I've got the enclosure laid out, I can jump to a bit of a time lapse, and we'll be right back. I think that's the terrain work done for the enclosure. As you can see, I've gone for more of a brown, or like a darker brown to mock the more of a forest floor in this enclosure. I have gotten the eggs because the fence is fully up. I don't need to worry about them running off. We can put those down. I can talk through a little bit more. Put the feeder down. Put some steak from the farm from last episode in here. I've got a little watering hole over here with some mud, some small drip leaf, and some soul sand to transition. I've put in the rock wall from the Dillo enclosure, and I've also kind of transitioned it to kind of this more stone, regular stone. I think I did an okay job. There's some missing transition blocks that I still need to get, but that means I need to go find a coral reef or warm ocean biome, and I don't know where one of those is. I've seen mesas, I've seen deserts, and I've seen jungles. I've got lots of jungle. Oh, my jungles are massive in this world. Probably should have settled there, but I chose here. But those are usually close to warm oceans, so I think I'll be able to find one. How far along are these guys? Halfway. Okay. I've got all these little stumps here to mark out where I'm going to be putting in the trees. I'm going to be putting in some other vegetation in here, like some of the bushes, fossils, plants, ferns, all that fun stuff as well. But I've also spent enough time in our world that the baby Dillo from the beginning of the episode isn't very much of a baby anymore. He's a fully grown adult. He's got his bright red crests, so he's ready to mate. In this world, the dinosaurs are not actually going to be laying the eggs. They're just going to be dropping them like chickens, because you don't turn that setting on, you run into a problem where you run into infinite baby dinosaurs, and then your dinosaurs get mad, and then it becomes a whole big issue. And I've just learned over the years playing with that setting is probably the best for the best. How close are we? Okay, about 10 more little seconds, and then we'll be there. Shaking. I have taken out the skeleton I was using for measurements, and I've also added some stumps outside the enclosure as well to kind of. Oh, there they are! Alright. Let's go. Got a male. And a female. Awesome! Breeding pair! Let's go. I think they look really cute. Still not used to bipedal Postosuchus. I grew up with walking with dinosaurs, so I'm used to the oversized quadrupedal Postosuchus, but I think these guys look cute. I think that over time I will get used to it. I mean, if that's what the scientists find out, I will be more than happy to go with it. But now that they've hatched, I think we can jump back in. I can tell you a little more about the Postosuchus, and we can finish up the vegetation in here. Postosuchus was a large, late Triassic archosaur from the group of Rauisuchids. These were large, predatory reptiles that lived during the Triassic period. These animals were not dinosaurs. Even though they may have been in the group of the archosaurs alongside the dinosaurs, they weren't super closely related to them. This animal's name means crocodile from Post, which is because it was found in the Post Quarry in Texas in 1980. Some estimates of this animal put it around 4 to 6 meters long, which is around 13 to 20 feet, and those estimates also lead to it to being up to around 300 kilograms or 660 pounds, making this a pretty large animal. This animal had long, strong hind limbs and shorter front limbs, which uniquely means it might have been a bipedal animal, which we see in the Fossils and Archaeology mod. It also had osteoderms, which are small, bony deposits in the skin which protect the animal from things like temperature and other animals. While it may have been small to predatory dinosaurs like T-Rex and Allosaurus, it was still an apex predator. it used its strong jaws to hunt animals like Locarius, which was a synapsid, and Postosuchus, which was another archosaur. And its strong hind limbs let it keep up with animals like Coelophysis, which were more nimble. This animal lived in a tropical environment because the late Triassic Texas was situated near the equator, near an ocean. This warm and wet environment had lots of birds, conifers, cycads, and more, which I tried to recreate in this enclosure. Now I'm going to let time-lapse me finish building, and we can take a closer look at the enclosure. And with that, I've finished the vegetation in the enclosure. I hope you enjoyed the little bit of information on Postosuchus. I tried to make sure the audio was a little better balanced this time. I have built, obviously, the trees that you've seen in the Dilophosaurus and outside my starter base. But this time I decided I wanted them to be a little more full. And so I made the branches toward the bottom a little thicker, made all the branches a little closer together. I think it helps a lot with these trees. I like this version of my trees a lot better than the previous version. Because I think the previous version of my trees, they leave a little to be desired. I've also added in this new species here. These are close to the modern day monkey puzzle tree. They are related to them. I think they look alright. I think there's still a little bit of refining to do on them, but for right now, they add to the Triassic vibe of the enclosure. The tropical Triassic forest that I tried to go for. As you can also see, I've also added in my ferns, my horsetails, some zametes, just to add that extra bit of ground cover, because forests do have ground cover, and especially tropical forests. I have noticed one thing that I am not super thrilled about the enclosure. That's that it's a bit big for 2. So I'm just gonna put down a 3rd. What can I do? I know it's not the most accurate with how these species probably was, but this is Minecraft, it's not real life. There are some liberties I can take. I can put 3 Postosuchus in an enclosure. It says in the Dinopedia the max pops on these guys is 7, so why not add at least 1 more? It'll help the enclosure feel more lived in. I've also done a bit of work outside the enclosure, around it, to make more trees that are inside the enclosure. I added some bamboo outside the enclosure to kind of add to the tropical, or temperate to tropical forest that I have going on outside. I've added in another one of my viewing windows. I have added this door in because I realized, as much as I like the cave, I'm probably never going to fix the tunnel because I'm going to be too busy working on other enclosures. So I'm just going to put that door in for now. At some point, I may come back and finish up the enclosure more by, I don't know, just maybe adding new species of tree as I figured out how to build those, and just things that happen as you progress more in the world. You realize, oh, maybe I need to do a little bit of work on the old builds. But for right now, I'm really proud of how this enclosure turned out. I think it looks really nice. I like the forest floor. I like the tree cover. It really looks like some of the paleo art that I based my enclosures off of. Oh, that's very interesting. Or on top of the egg. Good for you. Taking care of the young, even though I'm pretty sure. Well, we're a crocodilian, and crocodilian moms, at least alligator moms, usually take care of the babies, so up to a point. Who knows? Maybe Postosuchus did. Maybe the Postosuchus in my world did, too. I don't know. The last is Postosuchus. Let's have it hatch. Another female. So, now that I have all three of the Postosuchus in the world, I'm going to ask you guys, please, got name suggestions for these creatures, please let me know. I have one male Postosuchus and two females. I also have a male Dilophosaurus who also needs a name. Got a name for him, please let me know. And with that, if you've got any feedback for me, things you think I should change on the enclosure, things that you like about the enclosure, please let me know. All feedback is appreciated. It helps me make the episodes feel better, look better, helps me build my building skills out a little more. I appreciate everybody who likes, subscribes, comments, all that fun stuff, because it really helps. And with that, I think I've taken up enough of your time for today. I hope you enjoyed this little episode here with the Postosuchus, wherever they are in this enclosure. Make sure to, like I said, like, comment, subscribe, give me feedback. It helps me out. It helps YouTube push this to more people so that more people can become part of our little community I've got growing here. With that, take care. Have a good day. Bye-bye.